Hi and welcome to That Guy's a Maniac, the podcast. We are a podcast about video games. My name is Richie. With me as always is Farley. Say hello, Farley.
Hello.
You can find us on our blog at www.thatguys.co.uk. You can also find us on the social medias at That Guy's a Maniac, all one word, lowercase. Farley, I believe you have a quote for me.
I do, yeah. The video game quote, I want you to hilariously guess what game it came from, or maybe you'll know instantly, is I've covered wars, you know.
Oh, is it Ben from Resident Evil 2?
No, but on one level you're in the right area.
Is it Frank West from Dead Rising?
It is Frank West from Dead Rising.
Yay!
Yeah, the quote became a bit of a meme, and I think hang on. Yes, there is. I think in Dead Rising 2 there's an achievement called He Hasn't Covered Wars.
Oh, okay.
You're not playing as Frank West.
Yeah, okay, because you're playing as... What's his name?
Chuck Green?
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? Cool.
Did you play Dead Rising?
I played the first one, but the time allotment really vexed me. We've definitely talked about this before.
Do you mean the continuous timer that runs rather than time allotment?
No. Time allotment. You've only got X amount of time, and there's only X amount of things you can do.
Yeah. But
yeah.
When the clock runs to 0, that doesn't necessarily mean you've lost.
Oh, okay. Well, then I was under a great amount of pressure for no good reason. No, I think all I ever did was I've read one of the achievements was zombie genocide or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I spent a great deal of time mowing down zombies in the parking lot.
Yeah, down in the car park. Yeah.
Yeah, and giggling at Jill's sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was a really, really good game. I just wish I could have explored it at my leisure as opposed to feeling a great deal of pressure and almost like having to almost read guides about every single possible outcome and every single possible way. It hurt me, you know.
I think if we consider games an art medium, which see our previous podcast on the issue. The time, the countdown mechanic in Dead Rising, I think it's one of those great decisions because it almost perfectly divides people into, I guess you and people like you and me. So you're not wanting to have that pleasure to explore, and then for me. Feeling a bit like, there's not enough time to do it all, but also that being what motivates me to, or what makes it such a challenge, and also the fun thing that Dead Rising did is that there's multiple kind of endings to it. But yeah, that was really, really divisive. I think they got rid of it in Dead Rising 2. They came up with this thing where you had to get Zombrex for your daughter, which was like a mini timer.
Yeah.
But you could kind of do other stuff as long as, every now and then the running time was you had to get stuff for your daughter. And I think they just got rid of it in the later ones, but I really fell off the series after the first. I just love the first one so much.
I have all of them on.
Right, okay.
Yeah, again, I've got Dead Rising 4, and I was like, oh no way, I've got Dead Rising 4.
Yeah.
Maybe I should play that one.
Yeah, it's probably brilliant.
Yeah. Maybe it's something that I'll like to play. Maybe it's the cozy game version of Dead Rising.
Yeah, it'd be good.
That's clearly all I want.
Let's give it a burn. Yeah, but yeah. Well, it was divisive, but you know, sometimes divisive doesn't necessarily just mean bad. I think it was also quite.
No. Yeah, absolutely dividing crowd, giving people a chance for other opinions. Absolutely, I get it.
So this episode, we are one of us remembered that we did a sort of predictions episode back at the beginning of 2022.
Yep.
Where we had a look back at the year that had passed and then what we were looking forward to in the year to come. So we thought it'd be timely with us just being in the new year to revisit what we said we were looking forward to this year and to what extent we
actually went through and followed through on the things that we said we liked.
As well as looking forward to the coming year. And I'll admit that I really didn't think there was much I was looking forward to until I, looked up a scheduled release or games that have a 2023 release date or are scheduled in the window of 2023. And so my list has got surprisingly big very quickly. I was like, oh yeah, I could do with some of that. So there's a lot to talk about. So perhaps let's split the episode into looking backwards first, and then we'll move on to looking forward.
Sure. So you are entirely in charge of looking backwards because we did a re-listen to ourselves, and you took all the notes. So
I made some notes. So one of the games that I said I was looking forward to, but at the time there's only a teaser trailer, was the Callisto Protocol.
Yes.
Which is a non-Dead Space game. Essentially, I didn't play it, but it did come out,
and it was supposedly quite bad. Correct?
Yes, that was what put me off. He says that's what put me off. I'm also looking to see if it came out on a platform that I actually can play. Yes, yeah, it did. I could have played it if I wanted to. Yes, it came out to. How does it say it on Metacritic? Mixed or average reviews. That's what they say, isn't it? For the
mixed or average, polite. Yeah,
and not for the best ones. Because it says generally favourable reviews for good games, and then mixed or average. A lot of other people seem to be excited about it, particularly fans of horror games, because it looked like essentially zombies in space by the time we got some of the more extended teaser trailers. But it was just the review seemed a bit flat when it came out, so I didn't end up picking it up, sadly.
Yeah, I mean, as much as you were talking about it, it immediately left my radar. Immediately, there was a gap of a year between me thinking about the Callisto or Calypso Protocol.
One of the things you mentioned, I just wanted to check in on your PUBG career.
My PUBG career.
PUBG Battlegrounds. If you remember last year, you mentioned that you'd played it because Callisto Protocol was originally developed as a game set in PUBG Battlegrounds, and that's when you said, "Oh, I played one game of that on my cheaty gaming phone."
A few years ago I played it. Yeah. I have not played it since.
You've not played it since.
I still remain reigning champion.
100% record.
Yeah.
One play, one win. Very good. Yeah. I said I was looking forward to Splatoon 3. I didn't pick it up.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. How come?
I think I do love Splatoon and Splatoon 2, but I love them as single-player games.
And is Splatoon 3 a more multiplayer-focused one?
I think it has the story mode in it, but I just thought, that feeling of buying a game to half play it. And I wish that even if they just shifted some of the mechanics, and particularly around, they have a plethora of cosmetics and some ones which are linked to Amiibo and ones linked to events. But the only way you can really level them up is through playing the online multiplayer. And I'm just not interested.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I fully understand.
Yeah. So as much as I love the single player and Splatoon 2, that was great. The Octo expansion for Splatoon 2 was brilliant. But yeah, I thought that was 60 quid for a game that I'm going to half play. Well, not only half play, but then they're guilty about not playing. Not playing inverted commas.
Yeah.
The rest of it. So yeah, I'm happy to sit this one out, and I'll pick it up when it's on sale. But it's a Nintendo game, so it's never going to be less than £50. So probably never. But I appreciate that it exists, and maybe one day I'll pick it up to just see what they were doing story wise. Even though I imagine it will be what they did in the story in the first and the second one, with an ever expanding cast of idle squidlings and octolings. Next one, big one, Richie. You were looking forward to playing Final Fantasy VII Remake.
And you'll be happy to know, I bought it on a platform.
Did you play it?
I played it for 2 hours.
Okay. Thoughts?
I think it's fantastic. It's a really, really, really good game.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm not playing it more.
Yeah, I had this. I did eventually sit down and finish it, and then it's set up in it really is very replayable. So it's set up in chapters, with the idea that there are some chapters you'll go back and replay, which I've done a little bit of.
I'm so behind on all Final Fantasy games. Like Final Fantasy 15, I never touched. Apparently good, great, fantastic. Yeah. In fact, Final Fantasy 13-3, Lightning Returns, still haven't played because it had the same Dead Rising mechanic in there. You've only got this amount, little time countdown. So like, oh no, now I need to read everything and know about this entire game before I can actually play it. And yeah, of course, there's a 16 coming out as well, and I mean, there's also the online MMO, which I'm not even going to go near. But yeah, very, very, very far behind in Final Fantasy, and now there is a remake of Crisis Core as well.
Yeah, I'm keen to play because I didn't play Dirge of Cerberus or Crisis Core, and they are much loved. But weirdly, it came out.
Dirge of Cerberus is not much loved. It's much hated.
I think as a piece, those games, But weirdly, Crisis Core came out, and then I didn't see anything about it from people. So I don't know whether they were engrossed in playing it, or there was lots of hype for it, but then it just seemed to vanish upon arrival.
Yeah.
So I might pick that up. And there's a couple of games on the list for 2023 that I missed first time round and now being remade. In fact, there's a lot of games which are being remade at the moment. So yeah, if that ever drops in price, I'd be quite tempted. And yeah, I mean, you don't need me and the internet to convince you, but Final Fantasy Remake's quite good.
Yeah,
and I would be interested. I'm sure we've got.
I played it and enjoyed it. I just, I don't know why I don't. Yeah. It's like when I have free time to sit down in front of my PC and I think, what game shall I play? Yeah. I just want to choose anything but Final Fantasy VII Remaster for some reason.
Well, sometimes when you get a feeling that a game is very good, sometimes that bumps it to the bottom of the pile. Do you know what I mean? You think, okay, that's.
Well, this is guaranteed to be great. So, yes. Yeah.
Anyway, so I'll be interested to see your thoughts, particularly because as you know from the fact that it is one game and there's a series of it. At some point, it diverges quite hard from the original game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, be interested in your thoughts.
But we do we get the sequel this year coming up? I believe so.
It's a remake, and they've given them all funny names. Rebirth, is it?
Yeah, Rebirth, and then the final one's going to be Reunion.
Reunion.
Of course, it's Reunion.
Yeah, of course, bloody Reunion. No. Yes, but neither of us will be able to play it, I think.
PS5?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it might come to PC quicker. Like, all these Sony games are coming to PC, which makes me a happy bunny, you know?
For you to then not play.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, brilliant. The new Spider-Man finally came to
Great.
PC. I'll
Download
buy
that.
it. Buy it. Yeah, I'll download it. I'll even install it. Yeah, good one. Great.
Okay. My next note is in the last episode we I started talking about non-game media and you got really annoyed, but then we both ended up mentioning the Raccoon City. Was it the film Resident Evil
film, but it's actually supposed to be very, very true to the game with actual characters in it, and no Mila Jovovich as a extra character thing.
Return to Raccoon City? Return to Raccoon City, I think. And you
Did
said,
you watch it?
And I quote,
Go on.
because we were trepidatious that they showed us all the best bits of the trailers, but you said that might be the case, but nothing in the world will stop me watching it. Which can still be true.
Yeah, nothing in the world can stop me watching it.
Did you watch it?
I have not watched it.
Alright, me neither.
I saw one review and it was like 1 out of 10. What is this shit? Sort of thing. So I was just like, fuck it. I'll pass. I don't care enough. I got enough of a Resident Evil fix from Resident Evil 3 and all that. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's one of those when I'm really, really struggling for something to watch. I might watch it. But I also haven't watched it. I'm keen to, but yeah.
I would like to be able to create my own opinion on it. Yeah.
Reviews from fans and non-fans, let's just say, were less than favourable.
Yeah.
As Metacritic might put it. One of the other ones on my list was the Advance Wars remake, which still hasn't come out. So they suspended it. I believe, if I recall correctly, they suspended it because
the developer was in the Ukraine.
I think it's just generally because of the Ukraine war.
Okay.
And it seemed a bit insensitive, perhaps, to release.
Have a game called Advance Wars. Did they have a Ukraine level or?
No, not
okay.
at all. No, I think it was just due to kind of sensitivities. So yeah, it was scheduled for April 2022, and then didn't come out, and still has not come out, and I'm still looking forward to it. I don't think they cancelled it, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it will come out in due course.
Yes, it will. So that's all there is to say about that one. Another one for you with a cast iron quote associated with it.
Oh god.
So Gotham Knights we talked about, and also the Suicide Squad, Death of the Justice League.
Yeah.
And you said Gotham Knights definitely won't be out until 2023.
Okay, Gotham Knights came out in November.
Which, that's fair enough. Did you play it at all?
No, it has not been received particularly well. It got less than favourable reviews.
And then I think live on the podcast we ascertained that it wasn't developed by Rocksteady, but the
Suicide Squad one is, and that is due for May this year. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is due for May 26th this year.
Skipping ahead slightly, you looking forward to it? Is that one of your looking forward to games?
I mean, I am going to remain.
I think you should make some insane proclamation like you did about the other two.
I will.
Nothing.
Nothing will stop me buying and installing this game on May the 26th.
You heard it here first, readers.
Yeah, nothing will stop me buying and installing it. No, I have no further quote.
Okay. Fine. I imagine that will be true. The other games you mentioned were Saints Row.
The remake or remaster, yeah?
Yes, I think so.
So, I believe they gave it away for free as an update for people who'd bought it. So, I have it.
Mm-hmm.
I have not played it. I mean, like, I think... I don't think I ever really had any drive to play it again. I think it's one of those games that you're happy to go through from start to finish, do some of the collectibles if you want, have fun with the ridiculous and stupid plot. Mm-hmm. And I can't emphasize that enough. It is just fun. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. It's like watching the Sci-Fi Channel, but being able to play it, and it's just stupid. I love it. But I don't think I ever need to play it again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So why do you say you're looking forward to it?
I don't know. Maybe just in the back of my head, it's kind of like one day you'll play it and you'll be able to say things, and I can look back in rose tinted glasses and think, yeah, that was really really cool. Yeah.
And the last one was Bayonetta 3 for you, on the proviso that you still hadn't played Bayonetta 2.
Okay, so I decided to no longer wait for my Wii U to maybe play it. I bought Bayonetta 2 on the Switch. And I had a wee go at that, and it's quite good, quite nice, very sweary. But yeah, it's a game I will continue to play. I will pick up Bayonetta 3 probably in a few years' time. I do not expect. I have no real desire to pick it up, especially since there was all that sort of controversy about the voice actor and things like that. So I'm just kind of waiting for that to all settle down. On that note, there is another Bayonetta game coming out this year.
It was on my list, and it's a very me way to play a series, because I appreciate them, but I've not played any of the Bayonetta games. But I'm quite tempted by Bayonetta Origins, which is
okay.
Yeah. I like the idea of Bayonetta. Of course, when we saw some of the stuff in Smash Brothers, I was like, oh wow, I'd love to have the context for why we're fighting angel things on a falling clock and who all these other assist trophies are. But yeah, so Bayonetta Origins is
Cereza and the Lost Demon.
Yes, very different kind of game. It's not one of your, what do you call them?
I mean, like, so let's just quickly pause, because you've got my heckles up. Play Bayonetta. It is Devil May Cry.
Oh, you can you can talk.
But just play it. Play it. I don't really have a bigger argument than this. Like, you like Devil May Cry, didn't you? And you kind of stopped playing the Devil May Cry since 3.
I fell off it with 4, and then since then I've just been happy to, with DMC and 5, to watch what happens, but no real desire to play them, I don't think. But like saying,
one thing that's quite cool about it is the bullet time mechanic. So you do a dodge, which is something that you didn't have.
Its proper name.
Dodge.
No, the bullet time.
Witch Time.
Which time?
Yeah. So you do a dodge, and it's really, really good. What's the word I'm looking for? Motivation to do more dodging. Like, I was very, very guilty of just getting hit a little bit too much in Devil May Cry 7 because I could, and I was using because I was playing as V an awful lot. So it's a little bit more forgiving. But yeah, with Bayonetta, you really, really do care about the dodging. It's more powerful than a hit, and you're just rewarded by this bullet time. You're just like, yes, I'm gonna pound the fucking shit out of this angel thing. But yeah, no, I like. I know. I mean, it's a game that came out 2006, 2007.
Okay, yeah, I can't remember when it.
Yeah, and it was like the original Xbox 360. The original Xbox 360. And yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. If you were interested in the context, you could go through and you could play that game. There is no real need to play it on the higher levels. There's no real need to collect every other collectible. You can, and knowing you probably would, but it's 20 hours of solid entertainment and a hell of a climax. And I'm using the word climax, and people who've played Bayonetta will be like, haha, climax to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also part of me is quite tempted to play the series in universe chronology. So start with...
Yeah, start with series. Okay, cool.
Yeah. But it's interesting. It looks great. But it's obviously a completely different kind of game. It's more like a... What kind of game is Diablo? It's like a...
Isometric
dungeon. Yeah, loot 'em up. With this very pop-up book style and almost Okami cutscenes. So yeah, it was on my list of looking forward to next year. But I think actually that now segues us into looking forward. So what are the games, Richie, of 2023 that you're looking forward to? So it could be new games coming out in 2023, but it could also be games that you know you're going to be playing in 2023.
Oh my god! Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna get the biggest one out of the way. The one that I'm most excited about and will definitely take the time to enjoy and play is Resident Evil 4.
Yeah. So March of this year is kind of crazy.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff.
Everything seems to be coming out in March. So Resident Evil 4. Have you seen?
No. I've decided just to stay completely blank. I don't care because I've enjoyed Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. Those games were great, and this is a remaster. I am a bit worried because part of what I liked about Resident Evil 4 was the arcadiness of Resident Evil 4. But I think it's just going to use the same engine and tell the same story in much in the same way as Resident Evil 3 did, but with a change, a twist to it, which I am happy about. I'm looking forward to.
I mean, I'm really interested to see if they change it at all. I think I'd be happy if they just said, do you know what, we're gonna almost completely remake Resident Evil 4 in the what's it called? It's the RE engine, isn't it?
Yeah.
That I think would be great.
Step for step remake, I would dig. I would absolutely dig.
Engine.
Yeah.
But I'm also interested to see if they do decide to change it up a wee bit. Like they did with the Resident Evil 2, like they did with Resident Evil 3.
Yeah.
Both in different ways, but yeah, I think I'd also be happy with that too.
But I really hope they keep certain things, just like go get low.
The merchant. If they touch the merchant, I'm out.
Oh my god, that is so true. Like playable version of the merchant. Him running about to different spots just to get to the right place
yeah,
at the right time.
Like you know how you unlocked Ada's story, or Ada's mission in one of the Resident Evil 4 releases. That'd be a lovely little side game where you play what the merchant's doing in between visiting Leon.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, and that's the other thing that Capcom and particularly the Resident Evil games are great at doing is all these extra free modes that nobody ever asks for and you don't have to pay for. Of course, Resident Evil 4 first spawned the Mercenaries, which became its own thing for a while and is now kind of a staple of the series, albeit it's now a raid mode in some of the other games. So yeah, interested to see what other kind of extras they develop for it. And that's March, which is really soon.
Really, really soon. Blink of an eye, man. Blink of an eye.
Yeah. So yeah, that was also on my list.
What are you looking forward to?
What am I looking at? So there's two games which I know I will be playing in 2023, but they came out before. One of which is Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
So it's one of the ones that you could download for free when Sony did some mad have a bunch of games if you keep checking back every day.
Yeah.
So I downloaded it. Sorry, excuse me. I downloaded it with, I think it comes with the Frozen North expansion, but we had a number of other large games on the go, so we've wrapped those up, and that was the next one. So I've started it already, kind of playing it together with my wife. So she does the navigation and some of the exploration stuff, and then I tend to get chucked the controller when there's some horrible boss thing. Really, really, really enjoying it. I mean, it looks beautiful. I know that some people are a bit tired of it, and the sequel because it's a very light, again, I guess Assassin's Creed light. I'm not getting that feeling. And in some ways I'm quite glad, having just played through Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Origins, which just go on forever and ever and ever to the point, actually I think to the detriment of the game. Yeah. Just so many systems. You think, okay, this is way too much gameplay. So playing it so far and it, really interested to see where the story goes. Love the setting, and there are some beautiful moments in it. So when you first see one of the long neck robots striding around all these ruined buildings, it's beautiful. So we're playing that, and then another. I think it's a kind of an open world game, but I don't know. Will be Judgment, which is the spin-off of Yakuza with That's a weird one because my girlfriend, she wanted to play that. Yes. Yeah. So I got it for Christmas. Okay. Because I think my wife also wants to play it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But again, weirdly, that is going to be my entry point to the Yakuza series, which is probably going to have Yakuza fans, or readers who are Yakuza fans, screaming at us. But yeah, I'm looking for, and I'm going into the whole thing almost completely blind. Yep. The only reference I know to the Yakuza series is from that brilliant game, Project Cross Zone. and yeah, just they're in it, and they swear a lot, and it's funny. Yeah. So those are two old games, if you will, that I'm looking forward to put some time in. And actually, now that we're all sad old fucks, that's probably going to be a huge chunk of my gaming time this year. Yeah. And another, we talked about it in podcasts previous, but stop making huge video games so we could play more. What's on your list? Of games that I will be playing. Games that you will be playing, or if you want, you can segue into the ones that you're looking forward to on release. Games that I will be playing. I mean, there's a very big obvious one, which I'm not going to talk too much about. World of Warcraft will definitely take up my time. So on the last podcast, on the last looking forward podcast,
Yeah.
you were like, maybe I'll stop playing after TBC.
Maybe I'll stop playing after TBC. Now I decided to jump into Wrath.
Okay.
As I mentioned before, playing Death Knight, which is a new class, and around the corner, we have the next raid coming out, Ulduar. There are still 2 more raids after that, so 2 more phases of content, which is the Trial of the Grand Crusader, which is it's a weird phase because basically you're going up to a tournament which has jousting and shit like that, and there is also a raid in there where people just go in and you have fights against random people each week. So it's quite a different way of doing it. And then the final raid of the whole thing, which is where you go and beat Arthas, Icecrown, which should probably be around autumn time. And then I guess Cataclysm's coming out.
Mm-hmm. Is that confirmed?
It's not confirmed. There was also rumours that something else might happen. When Cataclysm happened the first time round, it was basically they kind of reset everything in the old world, and they reset talents, and they reset how most things work. Like the first 3 games are the story of Arthas, and then it's kind of like, where do we go from here? So I don't know. I don't know where my allegiance lies with Cataclysm, but it could be the time for me to leave that merry-go-round.
We'll see. We'll see if the streak is broken. The safe bet is on. The safe bet, I think, is on you carrying on through. We'll see.
But yeah, I didn't even really like Cataclysm, so let's see what happens. Revisit it next year. Listen to this podcast and see what I'm doing. Right. What else am I definitely going to be playing? I am going to be playing Pokemon and finishing the Scarlet and Violet, or just Scarlet really. Home is coming out in March as well.
Oh God, it really is going to be a busy month.
Yeah, and inevitable expansion will happen around November as well.
Yeah, so we were in the last year's predictions. We didn't really talk about Scarlet and Violet because Legends hadn't come. Arceus Legends hadn't come out.
Yeah.
And I think we both really liked Pokemon. I'm gonna look at. We get it wrong every time. It's like Grandad's. Pokemon Legends Arceus. PLA. I think we both really liked it, but I was also really happy in that it was very clearly done. You know.
Yeah.
You could do it. Collect the Pokedex. If you want, you can go back and shiny hunt all you want. But there wasn't really, there wasn't stacks to do. There wasn't extra tournaments. I mean, there was loads of.
There was loads of subplots, and then there was the stupid the pieces for the Spiritomb and things like that.
Yeah, and if you really, really wanted to, you could fill out every Pokedex page and then do the was it Path of Solitude stuff. But it didn't feel like you needed to do those things.
No.
And so I was happy. It's again I love to go back to. If I'm ever undecided about what I'm doing, you can always whack it on, and I'll end up playing for a couple of hours. Undoubtedly, catching a few shinies or some giant or tiny version of a Pokemon. And I kind of feel, because as we mentioned on previous podcasts with Pokemon Violet and Scarlet when it came out, I ended up with a lot of time in my hands, and I feel like I'm also done with that game as well. And I'm not unhappy about that. I think it's okay for game, for you to be like, okay, I feel like I did everything that I needed to do as you mentioned, I'm undoubtedly, when home compatibility comes in, I'm going to go back to it and bring all the old guys through, and have some fun that way. And there's going to be expansions. We've had a steady stream already of these events. There's a Charizard event. There was a what's the name of the bunny? Cinderace event. So yeah. But I'm actually quite happy because I think the prospect of a Pokemon open world game did have me a little bit worried that is this going to be the forever game again?
I mean, the thing that could I was surprised because one thing that I kind of found out about with the shiny hunting is that it is very, very viable to get absolutely every single one of those ones in the Pokedex, aside from the legendaries, as shinies so easily. Yeah. And it's like I've been watching these YouTubers doing it. It's just like, that's exciting. That's why I want to get my shiny charm because I think I might be interested in doing that kind of shiny hunting.
Yeah, it's the same as Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's very, very easy and possible to do it all. Once you get to that point. Did you have anything else to say about Pokemon Scarlet?
No, that's it. That's it, okay. Really. Other games that I will definitely be playing. It's a bit tough. I think I will very, very likely pick up Diablo 4. It's another one that I haven't looked into too much detail about because
it's Diablo.
Yeah, it's Diablo.
Let's hope it doesn't come out as a space shooter or a visual novel.
Yeah, a side-scrolling beat 'em up. No, it's.
I mean, that wouldn't be awful.
No, I know. I would be excited by that. No, I think what I'm worried about is what I love about Diablo 3 is probably not what you're supposed to love about Diablo 3. I was telling you this. It's like, again, it was Christmas. I took some time. I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna start up Diablo 3 and I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna start the season, run through, get the stuff, enjoy the loot pinata-ness. And then I always find that drop-off point where it's just like, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm done. I've had fun this season. I've spent a good maybe 5-10 hours on this game again, which is, 15 years old?
Yeah.
10 years old. And it's just like, oh, okay, right, back again. But the thing that I'm also trepidatious about is Diablo 3 did not start out that way.
No. In fact,
it took a while for it to get to that point.
2012 it came out. Yeah, 10 years.
Yeah. So it took about maybe 4 or 5 years before it actually hit that seasons made sense, and they did more of them and they changed them up and they actually implemented stuff from the seasons and stuff like that. So it became proper games as a service, and it's one of the only ones that I just continued to play. I have no desire to play it multiplayer or anything like that, but I've got more than my money's worth out of that game. You know? But I wonder with Diablo 4 if they're going to implement the same kind of fun that I have in there. Are they going to change it entirely? Because it looked very, very dark. And very, very... I know Diablo's always dark, but this was like sort of Hellraiser dark. So I'm not sure what to expect of it. So I'm trepidatious, but at the same time, we're gonna fucking play it. I'm not. Yeah. And yeah, so I mean, that's a biggie that's definitely gonna be on my list, and will probably be bought on day one or even pre-ordered. You know. Yeah.
When's that coming out? Is it March?
June, I think.
Okay.
I mean, it's June by Blizzard standards, so probably November. But yeah, like that's just a possibility. You know, like you know what I'm like. I will probably play it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Other games that I don't know. I feel like I've been talking a lot. What other games do you want to play?
I was briefly excited, when there was Dead Space news.
Oh yeah,
I love Dead Space, but sadly it's a remake of the first one.
yeah.
So I don't think I'm going to bother. It's really annoying. Really annoying. I could have done with another one. They could have redone 2. I really absolutely love the first one. I loved the light gun game, Dead Space Extraction on the Wii. I loved they had a anime that came out alongside it, a bit like the Animatrix.
Yep.
So different stories and different styles set in that universe. Then there was just another anime. Yeah, really. There's a novel as well, so I really, really love that world. But I'm not sure I want to play a remake. So sadly, I think this is going to be like a trend over these 2 years. I'm desperate for some Dead Space, but it's not Callisto Protocol. It's not a remake of Dead Space. So maybe 2024.
That's your year. Yeah.
It's my year. We really get a new Dead Space, or somebody makes a Dead Space claim that doesn't get mixed to average reviews. The other one, which I had no knowledge that it was coming out until I was researching it for the podcast, is there's a System Shock remake.
Oh, okay.
Coming out in March.
Has it not already been remade?
Scheduled for March. I don't know, but it's one of those games that obviously when the BioShocks came out, a lot of people with particularly people with PC chops.
Yeah.
System Shock was great, and so it's one of those series that's one of those games that's heralded as a classic. But I think when BioShocks came out, the prospect of going back to System Shock, right? And it's one of those games where if you look up screenshots of it, the original System Shock, really this game is some kind of so I think I'm in a very strange and small part of the Venn diagram, in that I'm looking forward to it to kind of experience it for the first time, albeit significantly upgraded.
Yeah, that's cool.
To kind of get all the hype about, particularly with regards to the story, unless they really mess it up the gameplay, because the other one, the original, was just too old by the time I really heard about it or had the capacity to play it, and I'm just interested. What was all the hype about? That's scheduled for March as well.
March, busy month. You've got nothing else on then. Yeah.
I've got 2 that I think might be on your list. So shall I try them?
Yeah, go for it.
The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. So, I liked Breath of the Wild.
What? Hot take.
Yeah, I have not finished Breath of the Wild. I find it hard to come back to that game.
How not finished have you not finished? Now, have you not finished the story, or because I gather there's lots to do from people I know who don't really play games, but do have Breath of the Wild.
You can go from start to the end of the game, and you can fight Ganon in his full form, and you can do that. I decided I wanted to experience the Colossi. I wasn't too fussed about subplots and looking for XYZ. However, I did manage to get all of the photos. So I've done a lot in that game. I refused to do anything in that game. I just wanted to explore for ages. So I did that in Richie style. And then when I finally got to doing the Colossi, I was playing them and I was like, oh, this is really hard. So I'm in a camel Colossi and struggling to remember the sequence to turn things. And when I do the wrong thing, I have to reset and go back, and quite often will die. Which has put me into a state of, I don't know if I can ever play this again. Or, do you know what I mean? So it's just like, you know that when you launch it, you're going to have to... First of all, I'll have to relearn where I am in that puzzle.
Yeah.
Second of all, I'll have to die over and over again, like I did the first time.
Yeah.
And then it's very, very likely that, I don't know, Resident Evil 4 will come out instead. You know, by that point. So I'm struggling. So...
But does was it Tears of the Kingdom?
I don't think I can play Tears of the Kingdom because it's a direct sequel to...
I forgot you had that bullshit going on with the Zelda series.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not even that. It is a direct sequel. It takes place in the world after you have got rid of Ganon. There is a new antagonist. You know, you're kicking about with Zelda, who's now no longer a damsel in distress. You know,
but could you not? Is doing the Colossi the main story, or could you not just beeline the main story, beat Ganon, and at least you're safe?
Yeah. No, the Colossi are the main story. So basically, they start doing a beam which weakens Ganon. So you're supposed to get all 4 of them. And I think I've done 2. I'm on the 3rd. I'm at the end of the 3rd. And then there's one after that, and then I could go and beat Ganon. I have done, like, great feats in that game. You know, like, but I'm so rusty, and I've no idea where I am, what I'm doing, and it's just...
So you've done enough that restarting seems like it's too harsh of a prospect, but also you're too rusty that finishing the job also seems difficult.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's probably just a few hours like left in the game for me to do it, and I could get it done. Assuming there's not a new game plus or something like that. But yeah, like I enjoyed it. I liked finding the hidden shrines and getting all of the extra powers and all that sort of stuff. And I spent far too long doing that. And then when it came to the actual game, it was underwhelming. I don't know. But I could just watch the final fight on YouTube and then play this game. I think this Zelda is probably a wait for it to go down to whatever in a January sale and buy. You know, for me at least.
Yeah.
How about you? Are you going to get it?
No, absolutely not. No, I although I did play Hyrule Warriors.
Oh yeah, you did.
And that did kind of pique my interest in. Oh, okay, but no, I'm just too far out of that series. It just doesn't appeal yet. Even though I know it's good, I know people talk about it.
I mean, Breath of the Wild is so different. If you were going to have a starting point, that should have been it. Yeah.
But you know, too many open world games on the horizon. The other one I had on your list potentially is Street Fighter 6. I think we talked about before. No. I don't know if we talked.
I'm out. Like Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 are supposed to be coming out. So I don't know what happened to Tekken 7.
I believe it came out.
Yeah. No. Yeah, so the Tekken 8 is coming out and Street Fighter 6. I like. There's never a real desire for me to buy these games on release because, one, they don't have the story modes like Mortal Kombat does.
Mm-hmm.
Two, within a year, they're completely incomprehensible revision of what they used to be, and you get all of the DLC as part of some pack. So I like fighting games, but I'm not going to engage with it because it doesn't have like Mortal Kombat has a nice storyline, and I got to play it and enjoy it, and I was excited when new DLC characters came out and I got to hear the things they said, and that was it, really.
So, okay, yeah. So is that definitely the case for both Tekken and Street Fighters? There's no story mode. They're just fighting games.
Yeah, I mean, Soul Calibur 4 is a great, long, epic storyline. And you create your own character and you run through it.
Yeah.
Love it. Fantastic. Still going through it. Still occasionally turn it on and pick it up and continue on. But yeah, I don't know. With Tekken 6, they have loads of different modes, and the menu is just like so many options. But story, I don't think there is a story. I think you get the little end bits.
It's getting to the point where more of the Tekken story has been told in, Smash Ultimate.
Project Cross Zone, yeah.
Project Cross Zone than in the actual series.
Yeah. He actually doesn't die ever. Jin is a devil. Kazuya is a devil, and I don't know, like there's a panda and there's robots called Jack.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they don't necessarily need storylines, but I'm also not doing, what was it called? Conservatory Kings. I'm not sitting, like playing a game like that with somebody on the couch is the ideal way to do that. But yeah, not a thing. I do have a couple of other shout outs of games that I'm interested in. We may have talked about this, but Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is coming out in May. There's Neptunia Sister vs. Sister coming out in 2 weeks' time.
Okay. What genre is that?
So that is a continuation of Neptunia story. That is the RPG.
Okay.
Yeah.
For a while they went a bit Persona, and there was a slew of non-RPG games, right?
Yes, so they have a side series of slashers. The most recent one was Neptunia versus Senran Kagura. The ninja schoolgirls.
Yeah, but there was also a rail shooter.
An on-rail shooter?
A rail shooter, yeah.
Was there?
Tripper, Neptune.
Top Gun. Top Gun, Top Net. Yeah. That's that is a game that came out at £2. Yeah, it's just a little fun game.
Did you play it? Sorry? No.
No, I resented paying it. I wasn't interested in it. But yeah, Sisters vs. Sisters, continuation of the story. I think you start off as the sisters, which is slightly different, because that's what they did in the second one, which arguably it's a better game than some of the other ones, so maybe they're trying to recapture that. Their last outing was the one that you were telling me about, which I just didn't bother picking up, which featured all of the virtual idols.
Virtual stars.
Virtual stars. So I was just kind of like, I don't know any of these people. I'm not going to get any of the jokes. So I'm leaving that one alone. But yeah, we'll see where it goes. There was a little news about a RoboCop game set in a sort of GTA style.
Okay.
Which I really liked because what's his face? Peter Weller apparently did some of the mocap for, in the same way as he did the mocap in Mortal Kombat. So I'd be interested if they sort of keep that 80s retro future thing in there.
A bit like, what was that? It was like a spin-off of a game.
Far Cry Blood Dragon.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly that. Yeah, just perfectly captured the 80s-ness of everything.
Yeah. So I mean that I would dig that, but it's so early days, and all I've heard is there was some mocap done. But yeah, so that was kind of one.
RoboCop Rogue City.
Rogue City. I mean, like GTA with RoboCop sounds fun.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that all pans out in time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably one of those ones that's not going to be well received.
No, I mean, there's a wee trailer and it's making all the right, it's got the right visuals, it's making the right noises. It's not gameplay. I don't think it's gameplay. But yeah, it's, all very dark. There's also punks.
Yeah.
Oh no, there is gameplay as well. Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, fingers crossed for that one. That's just like so on my further away on the radar, but just kind of like, oh, I'd be interested in a RoboCop game. Yeah. But you see how it goes. Any other mentions, honourable mentions, or anything else that you were excited for?
Well, the last game I want to mention is Armored Core 6. Fires of Rubicon.
Okay.
So
is it the first Armored Core game that you're going to play? You're just coming in at number 6.
No, it would be the second one. I think we played second or third. Played Armored Core 2 and Armored Core 3. Just for a period on the PlayStation, there were so many good mech games. And I guess after Titanfall 2, we've just not really had them. See, it's time for a bit of a revival. And there's not much out about it at all. It's developed by From Software, so hopefully that means all the Dark Souls balls will buy it, and then it means maybe we won't be so far between Armored Core games if it does really well. But there's not much in the way of gameplay. My experience of the previous 2 Armored Cores is you spend 3 hours designing your Armored Core, and you get destroyed in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you spend another 3 hours tweaking your Armored Core. I mean, but just back on the PlayStation, it was fantastic. The options you had, changing all the colors and customizing it. So yeah, Armored Core that's a little bit more forgiving, perhaps with a good story mode. I am all here for. I'm really looking for, not necessarily just Armored Core, but there was a game called Ring of Red on the PlayStation 2. I don't know if you've ever played that.
No.
Which was a tactical strategy game. So think about your advanced wars and your fire, but you're in these mechs. So you'd stomp around the map. But the great thing about them is when it came to take your shot, you'd then kind of be given a first-person view with like a really shaky cannon. So you imagine it. The target in the middle, and it's kind of floating around, and then you'd have to kind of hit fire when it's roughly on there. And that's great. So yeah, I'm always up for some stompy mech action. So depending on what that looks like when it comes out, so I don't know how far along it is in development. Doesn't have a release date for 2023. It's just a window of 2023. I could be up for some Armored Core action.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it from me, and that's everything so far for 2023.
Is there any hopeful releases that you perhaps have? Something that hasn't been mentioned but you're kind of hoping for?
No. Like I said, initially when we discussed, we said what we were talking about. I really didn't have anything, but there's a slew of just good stuff scheduled to come out, and I think we're finally kind of out of the COVID
dip. Yeah.
That just saw so many games delayed and delayed and delayed.
Yeah.
I mean, honourable comedic shout-outs for Pokemon Sleep.
Oh yeah, Pokemon Sleep. Yeah. How about Mario RPG 7 stars?
Yeah, Detective Pikachu 2. These games which are supposedly in development but yet to come out. But no, other than that, it looks to be a fairly solid year, although albeit with quite a few remakes and indie games. Although saying that, I've been reading through a lot of best games of last year, and I've played so few of them.
I know.
Particularly all the indie games. So quite a few
I know,
games.
and I've picked them all up as well. Like I have them. It's just like, oh, this one really got a fun review. I should spend some time on this. Yeah. Oh no, in fact, I'll just play my Death Knight instead. Yeah. Or I'll go shiny hunting on a game that I don't even need to find the shinies on. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Well, I think let's bring this to an end and let's bring 2022 to its death. And let's look forward to 2023.
Yeah.
That guy's a maniac.
Why'd he bite me?